Welcome everyone to this new year and this January 2026 edition of the Authors Forum. And the Authors Forum is a very unique forum for aspiring and emerging authors. And this started way back May 2024, and people were coming to me and they said, Dr. Michael, you were writing books. Can you share with us the secrets? And I said, well, this is no-brainer that we are gonna meet together and just to have a conversation. So it started with five people,
The secrets
and
are there's no secrets.
you just had that. So we started with just five people, and from that, and I said, why don't we open it up to others so that we can learn? And then from there, we begin to bring guest authors in. We've had Coach Sherry as one of our guest authors. We've had Coach Steven. Coach Stevie has been one of our guest author in the Authors Forum. We've had Coach Remy, and then we have Coach Tammy from Canada. So we've had a lot of authors that have been inspired from this Authors Forum. And we always say it this way: Authors Forum is a place where dreams thrives and doubt dies. It's a place where dreams thrives. We help you to live your dream. And to help you this month, I like to open the month with a big fish. They open the year. Last year, we opened up with Dr. Kenisha Williams. It was explosive. And this year, we opening with a bigger fish in the person of my mentor. And she is the number 13 on the Global Gurus, the world's motivational speakers. And also, she's been featured in the top 10 of the MSN. And I can go on and on and on about Miss Elizabeth, but one thing I'd like you to know about her, on top of all the resume that she have, is a sense of humility. And I've been privileged to really witness, to see her on stage and outside of Orlando, Florida, because everybody do that, but have that privilege to see the way she relates with people. And she's not just awesome on the stage, she's awesome in caring about people. And you're going to feel that care today, even though it's virtual. She's going to touch you in a very special way. So, welcome with me, Miss Elizabeth McCormick. How are you doing, ma'am?
I am good.
Oh, yeah.
Happy Wednesday.
Yeah, thank you so much. I have with you your latest book,
Mhm.
and which is the credibility factor. And there's another one that you did, which is the bookability factor. Wow, such a very unique one. And I
And
have one.
I'm gonna do a third. I'll probably wait a year or so, but I'm gonna do a third and make it a trilogy,
Oh,
like a box set. So
wow, that's
I
awesome.
haven't decided what the next itty, I call it the itty factor.
Wow, that was awesome.
Bookability, which is a made up.
Credibility,
I
yeah.
made up that word, credibility, and now I'm not sure what the third will be. It'll come to me.
Yes, it's a come.
Maybe accountability,
It's a come. It's
maybe
a come. Then we
celebrity.
have this one here,
Yeah.
the pilot method. But
Yep.
there's one coming.
That one, Pilot Method has sold more than 50,000 copies.
Wow, you mean the pilot
Uh,
method?
Pilot Method.
Oh, that's awesome. And
It,
there's one coming soon. I want to let the cat out of the bag. I love that one. She knows I like that one so much. And that one's called
I've been
Fly.
working on it so long, y'all. Like it's just been a labor.
But you know what? And I love it so because this is gonna be a great one. So she has one coming up called Fly. First lead yourself. And as you know, Miss Elizabeth, she is the former Black Hawk and pilot. And she shared some of those things in my book. And I featured her in that book. And Leader, Lead Yourself. She did me the honor of coming forth in sharing her story. But this fly is going to be a great book. And we're working on featuring her on the Made for More. So she'll be speaking at Made for More hosted. Yeah, that's like, wow, wow.
The,
That was awesome.
the cover is final.
Wow, this is great. So watch out for Fly. we'll be featuring Fly in the Made for More March 7, hosted by the Lamb Global Community. Thank you for showing us. We'll be the first person to see this. This is really cool. Yeah. But today, what we'll be sharing.
Because Michael whines and begs and so
Thank you so much. So today we'll be sharing the first 30 minutes will be I'll be having a one-on-one conversation with her, feeding her some top 7 questions and on our book writing experience. We'll be looking at that. Then the last 30 minutes we're gonna open up, and you that are here live, you will have the privilege of asking a question from Miss Elizabeth. You'll be able to ask a question directly. And the good news is this: if you have friends that needs to be here, please send them the link and let them come so that they can have the privilege of asking live question. Yeah. Okay, Miss Elizabeth, the first question I have for you is this. We want to look at the discipline behind the pages. The discipline behind the pages. You see, many people want to write a book, but few finish the book. In fact, statistics is so very, very revealing about this kind of people that started book that they don't finish it. And I can relate with that. After writing my first 2 books, I had a book drought for 20 years. This is
Mhm.
why we started the Authors Forum and before I started writing again. So the question for you to start this Authors Forum today is, what daily or weekly discipline helped you move from intention to completion? And
Do-
what simple um, reading will you recommend? And for busy professionals who says, I don't have time to write and they are just procrastinating and all that. Thank you.
So here's the first thing. When you are writing your own original thoughts and concepts, I recommend that you have a drought from reading other people's works.
Hmm.
So that way you are in your own head. So for me, like when I read somebody else's works, what I found work while I was writing, I found I would subconsciously pull some of that in to my
Hmm.
writing.
Hmm.
So if I'm in my writing mode, I do not look at any like from the start to finish of the first draft, not the whole time, but for the
Hmm.
first draft.
Hmm.
I'm not reading other people's material because I don't want that in my head. I don't want to mix it up. I want to make sure that I stay true to my voice
Hmm.
and that. The second thing when you're writing, and I think the number one reason people don't finish
Hmm.
is because they start
Hmm.
and they're editing as they write.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
when you're writing, especially nonfiction work or maybe a memoir or your life story, like just write. And then for me, because I tend to, when you type, I made a typo and you backspace. You lose your flow
Hmm.
of writing if you're typing. So for me, I use a spiral notebook and I carry it around with me and I write notes and I write things out of order and I'll say this goes here at the top and I'll use the margins to make additional notes. And then I, y'all, I'm busy. So I have that all scanned in and have a virtual assistant type it.
Hmm.
And then, and then the whole book's written. It's written, a first draft, done.
Hmm.
Then I go back in and edit it. For me, before I actually goes to an editor, I'll go in and I will read through and I'll be like, oh, no, 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 this needs to be chapter 3. Like I'll
Hmm.
look for sequencing. Again, I look for flow. How does the content flow?
Hmm.
And but above all, when you're in that first draft process, is
Hmm.
do not edit.
Hmm. Wow, wow. And I like the way you said it because I've listened to Dr. Tim Elmo. He talked about this
Mhm.
because one of the inspiration that we've been having when we started this journey for Authors Forum is they have this the Book in You podcast by the Maswell Leadership. And so Dr. Tim Elmo has really shared so many things on that platform that has really inspired us. So, and that was beautiful for sharing that. Yeah, that was good. So the next question is this, from idea to impact. So take us back to the moment, you've written many books and, I'm coming behind you.
So
Even though you told
this
me
was
to slow down.
this was my 20th.
Yeah. Oh,
This is
beautiful.
my 20th.
Mm,
So, but I've been doing this basically speaking full-time professionally 16 years
mm,
and part-time while I worked a corporate job for 4 years before that. So I've been
mm,
doing this 20 years. So if
mm,
you even if you look at our mentor, John Maxwell, he averages around one a year. And a lot of
mm.
the books that come out multiple years are regurgitated, renamed,
Yeah.
rebranded, repackaged from other books.
Yeah. And that
So
was so good. So this is the new book in case you didn't see it very well. It's called The Credibility Factor. And that's the latest book. And then before we're gonna have Fly will be coming up soon, and that will be number 21. Now,
March is the plan.
March, yes, it's be coming up March. And like I said, we'll be highlighting Fly during the Made for More 6.0 and on March the 7th. Now, I want to ask you a question. When you wrote the first one, because Dr. John Maxwell said it took him 1 year to write his first book.
Mhm.
So, how can you describe the experience? Because if it is repeatable, it's not debatable, and that means you have developed a system. So, what do you wish you know now as an author of 20 books? That what do you wish you know then that you know now that oh, I wish I know this when I was starting my book writing experience. Thank you.
I would say the number one advice I would give myself and I give to all of you is
Mm,
to trust your own voice. Don't say so. I don't know any author that like finishes writing the book and goes, "Oh yeah, here we go." Right? They go, "Oh, that's personal. Should I share that? Should I, is that, ooh, what if, who am I to write this book?" We get a lot of imposter syndrome and a lot
mm,
of doubts creep in, distractions, right? With between family, like when you're on a solid path, you tend to get distractions. Like you've got to maintain that focus and that commitment to your work, and more importantly, the commitment not to you,
mm,
not to the finished product, but the commitment to the reader.
mm,
So the what is paramount when you're writing, when you're designing the cover, when you are marketing, like the entire journey is your journey for
mm,
the reader. So you need to write with your reader in mind. You need to know who your reader is, what problems they have, what are they struggling with, what questions can you answer.
mm.
And when you have that clarity, then everything starts getting easier and you stop getting in your head and you're writing from your heart.
Hmm. Hmm. Wow. So that means writing with a target in mind. That's what some people call the avatar, like having
Mhm.
an avatar so that you can have maybe like you have somebody in mind that this is somebody I'm writing. And you always say something about audience benefit and just been focusing on that. Yeah. Oh, that was awesome. Thank you so much for sharing that. So, the next question is this. We want to talk about the AI advantage for modern authors. You've been a strong voice on leveraging AI in book writing.
Mhm.
And so, how can authors ethically and effectively use AI as a thinking partner without losing their authentic voice? And what mistakes should they avoid? Thank you.
Okay, this is a tricky one now, right? So here's the thing with AI is you there's a couple things. I use AI for ideation to get
Hmm.
new ideas as an idea generator.
Hmm.
Like what is already out there on this topic? Like if I'm
Hmm.
writing a chapter on a specific topic, like I'm gonna ask like AI, what other books are on this topic? What are they
Hmm.
and what do those books not cover?
Hmm.
What's the missing piece that
Hmm.
I can cover? What's the missing perspective? So I'm going to use it at the beginning for to help me with my ideation, right? To get those generate those ideas.
Hmm.
Then as I'm writing my chapter, I might drop my chapter in private mode so it doesn't pull it into its memory and feed it to anyone else. That's really important, right?
Hmm.
So I might go into
How do you do that?
it's in the settings. So in the settings, you can use like it depends on which platform. I've used 6 different ones. So it's either like private mode, incognito mode. Do not use my this. Do not use all like you could turn it off for a while. You can turn it off permanently. You can turn it off just for the chat, depending on the level of account that you have. It
Mm,
is in your settings, so you want to look for that. It might say, do not use my material to train the AI. So it'll
mm,
say something like that.
wow.
But I'll put a chapter in.
Mm,
Again, I've already written the whole thing. I'm not doing chapter by chapter, but I'm going to put the whole chapter in, and I'm going to say, okay, what am I missing? What is
mm,
covered here? How can I make this stronger? What are
mm,
some ideas of a framework I can teach in this chapter based
mm,
on the stories and the things that are written? Like, how can you can use AI to make it stronger, but it's still your ideas and your stories,
mm,
right?
mm,
So that's another use for AI. I'm
mm,
going to take it a step further with this next book I'm doing is I'm dropping each chapter into AI and asking AI to write the book study questions
mm.
for a book club. So then
Okay.
when the book comes out, I'll
Mm,
have the book club. And, if you order 10 or more books, you get the book club, so to create your own book club with it. So that's, you know, that can be done. I can put in
mm,
there, I can drop the entire PDF manuscript in and say, now write me podcast interviewers should be asking me about this book. So
mm,
see how I'm not
mm,
using it
mm,
to
mm.
generate
Wow.
content? I'm
Mm,
using it to,
mm,
Stevie's nodding his head. I'm using it to amplify and strengthen my stories and my content.
mm,
Now, my book, part of the reason my book was supposed to come out last year and is or we're delaying it is we're adding some research in. So I'm
mm,
getting ready to send out, now that we're in the first of the year, I'm getting ready to send out some micro surveys and get my audience feedback and
mm,
and to do some things like that. But we're adding those in as a qualitative and quantitative research. And what I can do with that then, when I get the feedback from everybody, I can drop the survey results into AI and ask it to give me charts,
mm,
graphs, and do statistical analysis on it. Hey,
mm,
hello. I don't have to have the mathematics. I have a mathematics degree. I haven't used it in a while. So I don't have to have a current mathematics degree to know how to do this stuff. I can ask AI to help,
mm,
and then I'm going to send it to somebody else to check it. But I'm going, I can have it synthesize that data for me,
mm,
put into the chapter. Like, and what is this data based on this chapter and these question results? What is synthesize this information and process it into a summary finding? Like, I can
mm,
have it help me do that. Now, again,
mm,
am I copying somebody else? No, these are all my results
mm,
from my stories, my
mm,
questions that AI
mm,
helped create, but it's from the responses from my readers, my audience.
mm,
So I can do all that. And then here's the last thing. I want to know if someone else has already done research on this,
mm,
right? Wouldn't you want to know if someone else has done a research study on the exact topic you're writing about? I'm going to again drop the chapter and the lessons already written into AI in a private mode so it doesn't use it to train its own AI system, whatever it's using. And I'm going to drop it in and I'm going to say, what research, and I'm specifically for this one, I'm going to use perplexity. Okay.
okay.
Because
Mm, mm,
perplexity and Grok both live pull from the internet.
mm,
Okay. The other platforms have taken a scrape of the internet. In fact, ChatGPT scraped the internet and dumped it into their AI April of 2025. No, yeah, 2020, no, 2024. It's like a year old. It's over a year old. Y'all, it's almost 2 years old. So they've scraped all that data when they launched it, like and did a hard launch, like the firm launch, not the soft launch, from 2024. That data's not been updated.
mm,
So unless you ask ChatGPT to go out on the internet and find something, you're getting information that might be a year and a half old. So
mm,
I'm going to go to Perplexity. Perplexity has no database. everything is live pulled from the internet. So I'm going to
mm,
drop a chapter into Perplexity. I'm going to say what existing research studies, statistics, and findings exist for this. Please list with sources cited, which Perplexity already does, but now the sources are cited in the Chicago APA format that I
mm,
need for the book to put
mm,
into a notes and cited section book at the end of the book. And I can
mm,
pull those in to help again strengthen my content and my data that I use in the chapter.
mm.
So now let me
Wow.
ask everybody here, any of that unethical using somebody else's content? No, right?
Mm,
Is it all my, it all starts, even if I need help with the ideas, I'm still going to use my stories and my take on that idea as my perspective.
mm,
Even if I use the ideas that I've generated from AI.
mm. Wow.
But
This
once you know
is
your avatar, you can put in and say, what questions, here's my avatar, what questions do they have? What problems do they have in their business? What problems do they have in their life? What kind of things are they searching for and shopping for? What are they looking for? What trainings do they attend? You
mm,
start asking those questions and you'll start help fleshing out what content they're looking for and need.
mm. Wow. This is really great. Now, we just had a breakthrough idea. Please drop and drop a comment if you just had a light bulb moment because I was just being wild. And if you just had a light bulb comment, please, we want to see your comment, please. If you just have a light bulb, just put light bulb or LB, just put LB on the chat because I was having so much light bulb. I mean, so this is really just put LB on the chat if you just have a light bulb moment with just the last question. Yeah. Oh, I mean we are just like two LB now. I mean I mean I'm kind of like wow, yes. We keep having so much LB coming.
I mean, AI, AI is a tool. It's not,
Mm,
there are some people that are writing whole books just using AI and not your own ideas. And that doesn't
mm,
serve you,
yeah.
the author.
Mm,
It can make you look bad.
mm,
It's, you know, we
mm,
haven't even touched on the legalities
mm,
that our legal system is going to be years behind on with
mm,
technology, right?
mm,
So just don't do it. It's not, to me, it's not even a legal issue, it's an ethics issue. It's a
yeah.
moral issue. It's do
Mm,
you want this, like, do you want this to chase you and
mm,
follow you years from now? Like
mm,
this business is the business is long, the memories are short.
mm,
So,
mm.
you just need
Wow.
to keep all that
Yeah.
in
Wow.
mind.
Wow.
And the
This
other
is
piece too is like pilot method came out. Let's see wherever it's at. There it is. Pilot method came out in 2013. There you go. 2013. So it's 12 years old, but it is still relevant, right? I've written it evergreen and timeless in a way. And I could sit down and rewrite this. I'm like, no, move on. Like, go to the next book. But you
mm,
want to make sure that the first books you put out,
yeah.
because guess what? When they buy your 20th book, they might go back and buy your first book.
Mm,
So you want to make sure that your production quality, how it's laid out, how it's designed, like the proofreading, you want to make sure everything is done at the highest quality that you are able to do.
wow. You just brought me to a question that I want to ask. I told Valerie this morning on the Maswell mentorship call that some books are timely and some books are timeless. So, from your own experience as the author of 20 books, what makes a book timeless? That's that book is always relevant. I mean, many years after you can talk about Think and Grow Rich. I mean,
Um,
it's still relevant. There's so many books. So, what do you think makes a book relevant? What should a new author look for that will really help the book to have that kind of long time appeal? Thank you.
yeah, I think timeless books are conceptual. They
Mm,
cover concepts. They bring a new perspective.
mm,
They bring that story behind the story, right? They bring concepts to life with a new perspective. Okay. What our timely books are context.
Hmm.
They're the how-tos, the developmental, right? I mean, just look at any book that was written about marketing or written about technology more than 5 years ago is completely irrelevant now.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Okay.
Wow, that was a great one. Hmm.
Right. Is the book you're writing conceptual and then it's timeless, or is it contextual, which is fine. My tip books are contextual. They are how-tos, they're short tips. They're still good. Some of the tips are conceptual and are
Hmm.
evergreen then, right? So it's a matter of choosing. Are you writing a book that is conceptual in format or contextual and relates to like a more of a manual how to the dummy's guide to whatever like
Hmm.
that.
Wow, that's awesome. And for your information, I just want to share with both the live audience and people that will be listening to this recording. There was no question shared with Miss Elizabeth.
I
And
know.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I just want everybody to know this because I just want it to be organic. And we do that the same thing for all the guest authors. We want to make it to serve the audience. So the next question I want to ask is this, talking about writing through imperfection. A lot of people really feel this. Did you ever feel your writing wasn't good enough? And how did you handle the moment of self-doubt, editing paralysis, or perfectionism? Because I shared some 7 pitfalls of book writing. So one of the pitfalls is perfectionism. So, what permission will you give authors who are stuck waiting for the perfect? I have some people right here. I will mention their name.
um, I who knows who said it because it's been around forever, is done is better than perfect.
Hmm.
But also, this is why books have second editions
Hmm.
or third editions or
Hmm.
fourth editions if need
Hmm.
be, right? And so the rule is if you change like more than 20% of the book, um,
Hmm.
20 or 30%, I've seen different data, is that you can make
Hmm.
it a new edition and give it a new identifier
Hmm.
and republish. So, or change the size, or change the format, change the
Hmm.
cover, things like that.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
you
Wow.
definitely, um, you don't want to be like, to me, I'm attached to the reader journey in my
Hmm.
book, not attached to the perfectionism of the book.
Hmm.
And so if the question to ask, and I had somebody ask me this, I'm right, this will be in Fly, is like, so I'm going to ask everybody that's here live, to put in the chat, do you have a story, a message, or a perspective, or a lessons learned, or something that you are wanting to share that will help someone else?
Hmm.
Right? Yes or no? Simple. Y or N, right? Yes, no, whatever you want to write. Okay. So every day, every day you procrastinate, you stall, you don't share the stories and the gifts that you have that can help someone,
Hmm.
are you hurting someone
Hmm.
by withholding that gift?
Hmm. Hmm.
And I'm not here to hurt anyone. But yet, when we get on our way, when we slow down, when we stall, right? When we get stuck of something we know we're supposed to do, we
Hmm.
know we're supposed to share, we know it can help people, you are actually harming people inadvertently by omission.
Hmm. Hmm.
Stop getting in your own way.
Hmm.
Every day your feet hit the ground is a gift for you and an opportunity to
Hmm.
expand your gifts
Hmm.
and help people that need to be helped.
Wow. Wow. This is awesome. In fact, what you just said now just confirm what President Nelson Mandela said. He said, "It is in your hands to create a better world for all who live in it." And Maya Angelou said, one of the most greatest frustration that happen in life is to have an untold story. And you have. I remember the first book that I wrote. It was not about me, and I failed my first exam in medical school, and it was really challenging. And so after I passed it, even before the exam, I want something to help the upcoming generation that, and we've had so many smart folks. Nobody has ever penned the secret. I mean, and people just keep on reinventing the wheel. And that was it was a passion to help the upcoming generation. And it was a little booklet. I mean, just little. And guess what? After um 24 years, I did the 2.0 with
Mhm.
9 students fresh in the system that they had distinction in anatomy. In fact, in our days, distinction is so rare. So, and what that means, and until and because no one has ever done that. So, when I look back, I just realized that when you have a heart to serve, you will always have inspiration, and that comes with that service. So the last question I want to ask you is this is very important. And what role did mentorship, coaching, or trusted feedback play in your writing adventure?
So more the feedback than anything, right? So I started listening to like I would give a speech and I started listening to the audiences. And so like
Mm.
when I first started speaking, I didn't have a book and they'd come up to the back to meet and greet me, take a picture, and they'd be like, "Well, where's your book?" And I'm like, "I need a book." Right? I need something to sell. And then, in 1 year, in 2019, I highlight that because that was like my one of my best years.
Mm.
2020 was going to be my best year. We know what happened there for speaking. But in 2019, I sold $35,000 of books
Mm.
that were not part of the contract.
Wow.
So, like, I negotiated the contract. Sometimes they negotiated the book with the fee and upfront. And this was $35,000 of people that said, "Nope, we don't want the book," at the initial negotiation. But I put it in the contract as an option,
Mm.
and they bought the book from the option.
Mm.
So they
Mm.
executed the option in the contract like closer to the event when they knew their budget and they had sponsors and different things. So I
Mm.
was able to, um, from there, I actually, was able to fund that book and make
Mm.
money. Actually, that year I made a lot of profit from the book.
Mm.
But at the
Mm.
beginning, I didn't have that. And so people kept asking me that. I was like, well, what part? So here's the thing. When you hear that, what part would you like to see in the book?
Mm.
What story resonated with you that needs to be in there? Start getting feedback, live feedback in the moment from your audiences, from
Mm.
your podcast, from whatever it is that you do, and
Mm.
start recording everything.
Mm.
Everything. I wish I could say I had a great mentor, right? No, I didn't. I kind of figured this stuff out myself.
Mm.
I really figured things out myself and researched it and did the work. Now there's a lot more access to
Mm.
mentors and to people that can help you in online courses and different ways that you can learn
Yeah. Mm.
about writing and publishing and the whole
Mm.
process. But like, you know,
Wow. Yeah.
15
So
years 15 years ago, not so much. 20 years ago, not so much.
it's been a while now. So this follow-up question is this: if an imagined author is listening to you now, and he or she could only choose one type of support system, what should it be and why?
I don't think there's one solid answer there because everybody learns differently. So
Yep.
like for me, I have bought online courses. Anyone else have this happen? I've bought online courses and have never done them. Like that's not the way I like to learn.
Mm.
I think you have to know yourself. Your first step in all this, whether you're looking at coach, mentor, online course, 3-day seminar, you have to know yourself. I
Mm.
did not when I first started, so I spent you and wasted money on things that did not serve me. Now I
Mm.
don't do that, right?
Mm.
So you have to know, how do you like to learn? Do you learn best, like Michael, you learn best with a mentor, right?
Mm.
We know that you learn best with a mentor and you
Mm.
value your mentor more because that's how you like to learn.
Yeah.
Some people learn best I like to immerse myself in a live event. I like to
Mm,
be with people, learning, and that even though some of it's going to be repetitive, even though some of it's like not going to be geared towards me because they're talking to everyone in the room, not just me, right? My
mm,
second way to learn that now that I am able to financially is instead of going to a 3-day event and hearing 2 days of stuff that's for other people and maybe only 1 day of content that's relevant to me, I will go to that person running that event and say, how much for a VIP day? One
mm,
day, you and I'll go with a list of questions. So they're kind of mentoring me, right? Kind of coaching, kind of mentoring me in that. So that
mm,
for me, I look for speed. How can I
mm,
get there faster?
mm,
Right? It's why I
mm,
created a mentorship program, my Velocity Society program,
mm,
so that I can help increase speed for other people in a way that
mm.
doesn't break the bank because it's a group program.
Yeah. For information, one of the best mentorship I've seen is Velocity Society. And if you want to be mentored by Miss Elizabeth like I am, and joining Velocity Society is a very, very good opportunity for you. And is it still open?
Yeah, yes,
Okay.
it is still open. I closed it for December to close
Can
out.
we drop the can we drop the link on the chat, please, if we
It's
can?
velocitysociety.com.
Okay,
I think
good.
it's the in the front, the
Okay.
velocitysociety.com.
Okay, good. So, Mr. Elizabeth gonna drop the chat if you want to be join the group mentorship. I'm part of the Velocity Society. It's such a great, in fact, it's really answers to its name. And I've learned a lot from Miss Elizabeth. And if people that knows me a lot, they knows the way I talk about her. And she's no phony. She cares about everyone, and she relates to you as an individual. And when I was writing my last book, she coached me through every facet of the book.
We
That
help
is
we
the
help we
access
help
you have.
we help the cover to get a lot better.
Yeah, I mean, she went through the cover. She talked about the subtitle. Listen, there's no way I could have done that if I'm not part of Velocity Society. So, if you want to be part of Velocity Society, that's a very opportunity. And then she also have a cruise. You didn't talk about your cruise.
Yeah. So our next one, my first one, it'll be my first one, is Speakers at Sea. So it's geared for speakers and thought leaders and people who
Mm,
want to speak or are speaking. And
mm,
it is 7 days on a luxury cruise line on Celebrity, and we're going to do negotiation role plays to learn how to better negotiate and build your
mm,
confidence in negotiating with meeting planners. And that's the big on ship training. And really the goal of the cruise itself is to increase your network so that
mm,
you can have better referral systems with other speakers.
mm,
Because we go to an event, a 2 or 3 day event, right? That might be NSA, that might be Maxwell. We go to an event and there's no time to really nurture new relationships
mm,
and build new relationships.
mm,
So this is a chance for you and your plus one, so spouse, sibling, friend, to come with you, and because it's a business development retreat for your
mm,
business, depending on your tax code and your CPA, most allow you to write that off. So you can write off
mm,
the trip for you and your plus one
mm,
to be able to go. And we do have some single speakers going that are like we help them find a roommate, another single speaker. So we
mm.
have some that are two, like we have one that's two women that are rooming and going.
Wow,
So
that was
and with the
awesome.
and with the cruise comes 1 year in the Velocity Society program is included with that because
Wow. Yeah. I mean
a lot.
that's no brainer.
It's a no-brainer, and it's a rolling year. So there isn't like when I first launched it, I was like, "Oh, we're gonna have an enrollment." Well, then somebody signed up for the cruise like 4 months later. I was like, "Oh, wait, I got." So it's a rolling year from when you sign up.
Wow. Wow. That's good. So check that out. So we're gonna have thank you so much for sharing that. And so we go okay. Where do you want to learn more about the cruise? If you go to that velocitysociety.com,
That'll go there
uh,
too. Yep.
yeah, that
Or
information is right there. So it's
or
time for Q&A.
wait,
And
I typoed that.
for Miss Elizabeth, Q&A session. If you have any question, please listen. This is the benefit of you being here live. Some people say, "Oh, why do I have to come to live when I will get a video?" Listen to me. Being here live give you access to our guest author. So if you want to ask any question, you can raise your hands up so that we can spotlight you. So this is a Q and A moment. I mean, this is a very, very great opportunity for you to ask question on anything about book writing from Miss Elizabeth McCormick. Yeah. Okay, we have the first person. I'm gonna put you on spotlight. Sherry.
Hi, Sherry.
Okay, and you can unmute yourself. Yeah.
Hi.
And thank you for moderating.
Oh, my pleasure. Thank you for allowing me to.
Mhm.
My
Yeah.
question has to do with your publishing company that you own, Sort of to Success. I was wondering if you could tell us a little bit more about that and how we might contact you or get involved in possibly publishing through your company.
Yep. So it started with a bad experience. So it actually started with Pilot Method, and I had published through a publishing company, and they ripped me off.
Mm.
So they would send me a report of how many thousands of dollars of royalties I had earned over the period of time, and never wrote me a check.
Mm.
Hmm.
So after 2 years of getting these lovely monthly statements and not getting a check, I said, oh, okay. So I went and saw a lawyer. The lawyer reviewed the contract. Okay, chewed my butt for not letting him review the contract because the it didn't have a payment schedule in the contract. It just said I would get paid royalties. It didn't say when or how often.
Hmm.
So shame on me, right? So our contracts have that. So what I did is the lawyer sent that publisher a letter and said, this is beyond what's acceptable business practice,
Hmm.
right? So acceptable business practice is at least once a year, so we're asking for payment through the state. Um, they made up some excuse that I owed them money for something else and downgraded that, but at least I got some of my money. Well, then the other authors for this publisher were having the same issue. They found out that I got paid. Now, mind you, I got paid by FedEx, a check FedEx the day before the deadline we had given them before it was going to go to the court or going to go get filed. And so the other authors started doing the same thing, and they ended up filing for bankruptcy. So
Hmm.
part of the bankruptcy proceedings, I got the rights back to the book so I could publish it myself.
Hmm.
At that point, then I was also doing my tip books. So at that point, I had like 6 books, and they were making money. And then I was finding out how much money they were actually profiting from my books. And I was like, oh, I did most of the work. Yeah, I was doing the writing, the formatting, the proofreading, the editing. Like I had a whole team of people that were doing it because I was writing so many. The publisher wasn't even doing that for me. So I decided to create my own publishing company, my own company to publish my own books, and then that was about 10 years ago. And then since then, I've had people coming to me, hey, my publisher ripped me off. Hey, they want to charge me $20,000 to publish a book. And I'm like, no, like, so to me, my publishing company and publishing other art. Number one, I don't advertise. I'm not building an empire. I
Hmm.
want to keep my people busy. I want to keep my editor, proofreader, designers. I want to keep my team busy enough where they're not taking work from other companies
Hmm.
and then not available for me and my
Hmm.
people. So I don't have massive margins.
Hmm.
It's not that's not what it's for. Like it's to me
Hmm.
it's about, taking care of my people that
Hmm.
work for me. So it's a very affordable, and I'm very high integrity. Also, I am picky on quality. I have a whole team that does everything. You get a project manager. They walk you through the whole process. We do a press release for your launch. We do marketing. We don't do a bestseller campaign. We're very intentional with that. To me, your book is about being profitable as a business and making money.
Hmm.
A bestseller campaign with Amazon has very little value anymore.
Hmm.
So, meeting planners and people who book speakers, they all know that you had 10 people buy it at 2 a.m. on a Tuesday, right? And it just doesn't have, unless you're a legitimate Wall Street Journal or USA Today, Amazon just does not have the value. So, we don't do that. If you want to do that, we can refer you to another company to do that and PR and all that, and you could pay a lot of money for that, but we don't recommend that. So we can handle your Amazon, your ebook. We do Google Books, Apple Books, that by the way, they're trying to compete with Amazon. We do the Amazon, we do your we have international distribution. We do all the listings and all the formatting and everything for all that in one package price. And then a lot of the publishers take a big chunk of your royalties. So the publisher I was with was keeping 40%. So think about it. Amazon keeps 30.
Mm.
Then they took 40% of the remaining 70.
Mm.
Like crazy. We keep 10 because all I care about is that my people get paid, and the 10%, it just covers the administrative cost of creating the report
Mm.
and writing the check. So
Mm.
that's all. And I've been told I'm crazy. I've been told I need to increase prices. I've been told I'm
Mm. Wow.
okay.
No, that was
I just
awesome.
smile and be like, okay, again, I'm not doing this to build an empire. I'm doing this as a legitimate ethical service to the industry.
Wow. I
So
actually
we
knew
did,
somebody
yeah, go
that
ahead.
that got a book published. She was one of our speaker in the last conference, and I would just ask, I said, "Who did your book for you?" She now mentioned you. I said, "Wow, I never knew that you got that."
Which one was that?
That was Deborah
Oh,
Alt. Yeah,
Deborah Holt. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah.
So
Why you can?
we did recently change. We used to do quarterly reports. I'm over 60 authors now
Mm.
that have published with us. So and some of them only sell like, let's get real. Like Amazon is not where you're going to sell most of your books. You sell most of your books from speaking engagements. That's where you
Mm.
sell most of your books.
Mm.
So having like some authors were only selling like two or three books in a quarter, and we were doing this big report and having to run it. And mind you, we have to run the Apple book report and the Google book report and the Amazon report and the Kindle report, and we have to run and put them all into one form and all in different temp formats. And so, and
Mm.
merge all that. I'm having somebody build a electronic dashboard for it now for me, but still, it's a lot of data for a $6 royalty check.
Mm.
So we just in this last year we changed where we're now, instead of doing quarterly, we do, unless it's like a big launch and you have a large quantity, it's
Mm.
we just do
Wow.
annual royalties.
Wow. Thank you, Coach Sherry, for your question. Somebody just asked a question now. Do you do illustration for children's book too?
So we specialize in nonfiction. So we do the memoir. We have one coming out next week for a retired military general who did through us, and we did held his hand. No business, like y'all don't tell him. Like, no, he knows. No business. All military, 30 years of military, but had no idea how to set up a business, do business, and everything. So he's in the velocity. He's actually going on the cruise. He's doing the velocity. He's learning how to do the business, and he did his book. So it's like all kind of congealing right now for him. And he admits it. He's like, his testimonial endorsement to me back to us is like, thank God I had her to help her do everything. So
Wow.
yeah, so uh, we do nonfiction. So we don't do children's books. We have an illustrator that'll do like graphs and charts and some simple illustrations for business books, but we kind of specialize in the nonfiction and that. So if you have fiction or children's book, I'm probably not going to be the best. You might want to talk to Sherry. I'm not going to be the best one.
That's the truth.
I know. So
That's the truth. Yeah.
yeah, and so Thomas, it's sort of success. Right now, I'm the cobbler with no shoes right now. We are moving all of our websites over into Go High Level. And so with that, the website's kind of done, but not all the way done. It's actually on my list to check it before it goes live. And so what I recommend that you do is send me a private message on social media or send me an email. Um, just reach out to me. And we right now we're using a brochure until the website's live. So the brochure has the pricing, the packages, what's included, endorsements and testimonials from other authors who've gone through and done the different books. We have staggered pricing for full size books. like pilot method, that are based on word count. Because what we learned is we made a mistake. We had one price for full, what we call large format, full size books. We had one price, and I had an author submit a 90,000 word manuscript. Her book was over 400 pages. And then she submitted like 40 pictures. So, and wanted it like, I was like, okay, this is two books, like maybe three. Like, this is more. No, 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 no. I want it all in one book. I'm like, no, 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 no. Nobody wants to read that. And she is, and sure enough, they're hard to sell because people look at a book that thick and think, I
Mm.
don't want to read that. So, but we also, because there was so much editing and placement, I actually lost money on that book. So
Mm.
we learned we have staggered pricing based on word count for that.
Mm.
So for every 20, I think it's 25,000 words, it goes up $500. So
Wow.
again, it
Okay.
basically covers cost. Like
Mm.
this is in the
Wow.
profit center. I speak. That's my profit center.
Wow. That's awesome. Yeah. We have
Um,
another question from Coach Kara now.
yeah, well, yes. Let me just finish, Sherry. Yes,
Okay.
we do journals. We have some journals in process right now that are coming out this year. We have journals, devotionals. We've done, I don't call them workbooks because people don't want to work. I call them guidebooks or activity guides, right? So we've done that with the lay flat spine for people to write in with perforated pages so they can rip pages out. We've done all kinds of
Mm.
different things like that. And what I do with our authors, if they're not familiar or have any of my books personally, when you send me, if you want samples for inspiration, I have samples of a workbook. I have samples of. I don't have the journals yet. They're in the production queue right now.
Mm. Wow. Thank you. Yeah. Coach Kara, your question, please.
Kara.
Hi, Michael. Thank you for hosting. Elizabeth, so nice to see you and
Welcome.
great information. Thank you for sharing. And thank you for the book. I just received mine.
Oh,
I
Myers,
haven't taken a
yay.
picture, but I just received mine.
Yes.
And I was excited to actually hopefully cruise with you guys this year. However, we're actually sailing the same ship a couple of months later. So I couldn't do both in the same at the same time. So I'm looking forward to next year.
Well, I will tell you, so if like just for the month of January, we have a 10 payment on it. So
Mm.
it starts at $600 a month
Okay.
for two people in the cabin,
Mm.
right? For that, and you can start the Velocity Society right away.
Mm.
So, but you can also join later. That just might be a three pay, or depending on how many months before final payments are due.
Gotcha.
Mm.
It's my favorite ship, so I look forward to that.
So we're
Mm.
on the
And
next one.
beyond, right?
Beyond is in 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks.
Oh, that's right.
And yeah, and then next year's, I think it's
The Excel? Was
I
it the
no,
Excel?
it's Apex.
The Apex. Okay.
Because
Yeah.
Excel and Excite don't have meeting space
Mm.
Oh,
on the ship. They made the meeting space the new speakeasy.
Mm. Yeah.
So
Okay.
they don't have meeting like a meeting space. So like if you have a group, you either have to pay for the big theater or you have to use one of the restaurants, and then you don't have PowerPoint and a projector and a sound system. So I was like, no, 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 that's so
Wow.
you have to watch
Okay.
you have
Wow.
to watch
That's
stuff like that.
awesome. So, Coach
so
Kara, your question, please.
lots of information. You have my mind going. As far you talked a lot about your publishing company. I didn't know you had one. That's amazing. I'm wondering, like, is there like a place where I can get a price list, like all the things that you offer and how much that costs and stuff like that? Is it one of the sites that we already talked about?
Mm.
It is not on the speakers or the Velocity Society site because it's a different division of my company. But just shoot me a message
Okay.
through anything. They all eventually get to me, right? So just shoot me a message and I'll make sure you get. Right now we're using the brochure. The website's like probably next week. The website will be live
Okay,
with
perfect.
an updated. So
You mean your new website?
oh, the new speaker website.
Oh, okay, okay, okay.
So the difference is go high level. Like my hands are in it, so I can get it done. My
Yeah.
new speaker website's been in works for a year and a half, and that one's really really close. we're finalizing they want a couple videos and a couple things that I have to do.
Wow. Wow.
And
Yeah.
then,
Mm,
but like, okay, but just like that's a $25,000 website. I hired a full-on design firm and
mm,
they do design, SEO, copywriting. They do it, it's a complete boutique, like high-end. But what was happening is I was getting nominated for the Speaker Hall of Fame and wasn't making it. And so I was like, okay, it's time. I'm up leveling everything. So I kind of like
mm.
to, I'm competitive and like to win. So I'm like, I'm up leveling everything. I'm gonna make my website. Did new videos and I did and this new website's coming. And so like, so with
Mm.
because they evaluate you based on your marketing materials as well as your performatives. So
Wow. Okay. Thank you,
yep.
Coach Kira. We're gonna have the last person that has the question. We have Coach Remy
And
and
then
Coach Remy.
Thomas has a couple in the chat we can go through real quick.
Okay. Okay. Let's see there. Yeah. So Thomas was Coach Thomas was asking some question about what is the name of your company, publishing company, and how do I apply for acceptance?
Yeah, so we are what's called a hybrid publishing company. Hybrid means you retain all your rights. So there isn't like you don't have to have an agent. There's no acceptance period or anything. Um, we, you pay a production package rate. So we do, and then you get to assign a project manager, and we walk you through the whole process. So editing, proofreading, design, ISBN, barcode, proper cover layout, Michael. We do, Dr. Michael. So
Yeah.
we help you make everything look high quality and be polished and be something you can be proud of for years and years. And then, so there isn't really an acceptance. We'll send you our brochure, and next week when the website's live, and then you say, yes, I want to do it. We send you a publishing agreement. You can do a payment plan on those. We do payment plans. You just have to be paid in full before it goes to print.
Wow. Okay. Wow. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. And then also I'll be getting the comprehensive information from you to share. We have a Authors Forum WhatsApp group so that we can share
Yeah.
that on
Oh,
that
yeah,
group.
I'll give you that brochure.
Okay, good. Okay, let's go to the last question of the day from Coach Remy. Yeah. Well, Coach Remy, how are you today? Sorry, I gotta unmute you. Okay, yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
You
Uh,
muted, yeah. Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, you good now.
Hey, that pink
Okay,
looks
so
lovely
can
on
you hear
you.
me? Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now, but
Oh, okay, thank you. Thank you so much,
but it
Coach.
can be louder.
Oh, I can be louder?
Yeah.
Thank you, Coach. Okay, thank you, Miss Elizabeth. So my question came up when you said trust your own voice
Mhm.
and you don't read other people's material when you're writing. So how do you balance adding quotes from other authorities to your research? Like I just released a parenting book and I had to leverage a lot of psychological research from psychologists I've read and things like that. So how do you balance that and trust your voice at the same time?
Yeah, it's funny because like John talks about it, like he has a bank and a whole like right index library cards with quotes on them, right? So what I recommend you do, and have the same thing. I take photos of my quotes and then I have a quotes folder that I put them in.
Okay.
So collect quote like don't just wait till you're writing, collect quotes as you go. But what you want to do is you want to write in your voice and keep your voice and then say, I need a quote here. And then you go
Okay.
back in the editing process, not the writing process,
Hmm.
Okay.
and put that in there. So that's like in the like your developmental edit, right? Where you're going in and you're saying, I need a quote here, I need a statistic here, and then you're quoting them, you're citing it, adding it into a bibliography or we call it a cited notes in the back of the book, right? So that's great. When you're just doing like a quote from John Maxwell or a quote from Simon Sinek or a quote from somebody, technically you're supposed to send them something and let them know they're doing it. Now, most of them, if they're real,
Okay.
like, yeah, right. So, and there's a lot of like quotes from other people shouldn't be more than 20% of the book
Hmm.
Okay.
because it's your book. if it's so much material from other people, then it starts going into collaborators and other people like that should get like co-author credit for the book. So you want to make sure that you're maintaining your voice, your perspective, and your things,
Mm.
and what's quoted is whether it's research or their thought leadership. Make sure that if you put their thought leadership, make sure that you say, here's what I think this really means. Here's how I see this apply. Here's how I use this. Like always make sure you bring your perspective into that. Does that make sense?
Hmm.
Yes, it does. Thank you so much for that
Wow.
clarification. Thank
It's
you.
really great. Thank you, thank you,
Yeah.
thank you so much. And we want to say thank you, Miss Elizabeth. It's been a great time with you. We can continue on and on with you. But we've gotten so much value from this time with you. And for your information, everyone, Miss Elizabeth will be speaking at the Made for More 6.0 coming up March 7th at hosted by Lamb Global Community. And listen to me, it's going to be really great. We'll be highlighting our new book, Fly, First Lead Yourself.
And I'll have content from the new book.
Guess what? We the first person to see the book. I've never seen that book before anywhere on the internet,
Yeah.
but she gladly showed it to us today. Last word for you, last comment, Miss Elizabeth, before we leave. What's your last word for any aspiring author that is still sitting on the fence, that is still second guessing themselves? So this is a new year, 2026. What kind of what kind of matching order do you want to give them? What kind of encouragement do you want to give them? Someone that is carrying this vision of writing this book. So what can you, I mean, how can you just motivate them to just get out and write the book?
So here's the thing. Ideas, potential doesn't mean anything if you don't do something with it.
Hmm. Hmm.
Okay. To potential, you've got to act on that potential. And
Hmm.
how you act is you start by making a commitment. You commit to, I told you that would be the word we talk more about today. But you've got to commit not just to yourself, not just to doing the not just to yourself, not just doing the project. You need to commit to your reader, to their journey, to deliver for them. And
Hmm.
again, when you get out of your head and you're in your heart delivering to them, it flows faster.
Hmm. Wow, that's awesome. Thank you so much. I think that is a mic drop. Potential doesn't mean anything until you do something with it. And that was a real mic drop moment. Thank you so much for sharing that. And please, everyone, this video replay will be available in the next 2 hours, and so that you can really enjoy and relive the process. Miss Elizabeth, I want to say thank you on behalf of the Lamb Global Community and the Authors Forum and all the collaboration of authors that are part of the Authors Forum. We have like more than 55 people part of the Authors Forum. So we just want to
Hi.
say thank you for your time today. And we know how valuable you are. You travel a lot. But thank you for giving us this opportunity to learn from you. And thank you for inspiring us. And
And I got a speaking engagement request while we were sitting here. So
oh,
look at
oh, beautiful. Yeah. Look at God. That was good. That was
love
good.
it when that happens. So
Yeah. So I want to say thank you
thank you.
so much. And for everyone, next month we'll be having another